Hey, this is David King from davidbking.com. In today's video I want to talk about getting investment for your startup versus bootstrapping on your own. And excuse the noises in the background if you hear crickets or birds or just jungle sounds in general. I live in Costa Rica now, and I guess the cost of living in paradise is having lots of weird noises from nature, but I kind of like it. So first things first, the first time I pitched for investment was actually to a company, an advertising company. Me and a friend that was going to be a partner of mine pitched to this huge advertising firm that did like $100 million a year in advertising, kind of like, revenue through their clients. They had offices all throughout America and in London, and just an international huge advertising agency. And they actually rejected and turned down investing in me and my friend. And like I said, he was going to be a partner. And actually, at first, I was really actually surprised and disappointed because the pitch was really casual, really laid back. The partner we were talking to was really open to it, and he was surprised that the niche wasn't really fulfilled yet that we were going after. And it sounded really simple and easy. And it sounded like he was definitely going to invest during the pitch. And I took it kind of hard, but looking back on it, I'm actually glad that he didn't invest in that idea. Even though I think the idea would have been great, I think it would have done very well and been successful, just working and going into an office and having an investor, as time kind of went on, I realized that's not something I wanted to do for me personally. So I pitched him as an investor. He said no. Then I was in a technology incubator, and I didn't pitch for investment actually. I went through the incubator, and I decided not to pitch for investment simply because I didn't really want to. I just didn't want to be invested in from an incubator because it just felt too much like a job, and it felt too much like a. I don't know, like it just didn't feel right. Like it just didn't really resonate with me and my startup at the time. So for me personally, I would rather bootstrap. But right now I do have one partner that's investing in an idea that we're both partners on, and we're actually 50-50 partners. But he brings experience to the table as well. It's a WordPress plugin that we're having developed, and he's developed a WordPress plugin and has done well with that in the past. So it's something that I'm open to investment if there's experience behind it. So there's a few questions that I kind of want to present, and I kind of took notes on this, so that's why I'm looking at my MacBook. First things first, how much do you believe in your product or business? If you believe in your product or your business or your service 100%, you can bootstrap it and you don't need anyone's help. 100% dedication and commitment to your idea, you can bootstrap that without any external investment or external help, and that's what I would personally recommend, because when you have it in outside funding, it creates a sense of desperation, and it creates a sense of almost fear and scarcity to the point where you don't operate as you truly would as an entrepreneur. And it kind of has like this feel, in some cases at least, it depends on your investor, of Big Brother watching over you. And sometimes you don't execute in the way you normally would and create the idea and vision that you had envisioned in the beginning of the startup. So your vision of the startup, your vision of the technology-based company might change, and it can turn into something that really wasn't your big picture, big vision, goal, and dream in the beginning. That might have been done much better if you had bootstrapped it. But now that the investor's looking over your shoulder and you have all these things constraining you and your business and your idea, it doesn't really flow like it would have if you had bootstrapped it. So factors I think are important to look at if you are kind of deciding between having an investor invest in your startup or bootstrapping yourself. Number one, the experience of the investor. Is it experienced money? I don't care. Everyone's got money these days. You can walk down the street and get someone to invest in you. It's really easy to get money to invest in you. Is the money experienced? Does the money come from a business? Does it come from a firm? Does it come from an angel investor? Or does it come from an individual who has done something before that you're looking to do? I think experienced money is the money you're looking for if you're looking for investment. You're just not looking for investment from anyone. Has he done, or has him or her done something similar? So has their past business or product evolved into what you are currently doing. This is huge. Most people in the startup space don't even think about this or look into it at all. Did they create some sort of technology that would be the equivalent of what you're trying to do today? That's the kind of startup money, experience capital that you're looking for. Otherwise, it's just money, and it's not going to help you out a lot. And in fact, it could harm you and make your startup more detrimental because you have kind of a bubble of money that you're floating on, and it doesn't allow you to execute in a much more efficient, effective way because you're dependent on yourself. And when you have someone else to depend on with that money and that backing, it can kind of weaken you in some sense. So you have to watch for that. Also, how much you believe in yourself, like I said before, most people who believe in 100% in their startup will bootstrap it, and sometimes people tend to look at investors when they aren't 100% sold on their own idea. So be aware of that. Are you 100% sold on your idea? Are you 100% sold on your vision, your product, your service, your brand, your identity, everything in the marketplace? Everything that you're putting out there, are you 100% sold on that? If you are not 100% sold on that, you may tend to look for an investor, and that may be a sign of weakness. So understand that, be aware of it, and take note of that. Also, I just look at bootstrapping as something that's just rugged. Like I'm a rugged, like hardcore entrepreneur. I'm 100% like thoroughbred. Like I want to do everything. I want to have control. And maybe that's a little bit of like ego or whatever. I don't really know what it is. But if you're a thoroughbred entrepreneur and you like to have 100% control, bootstrapping is definitely much more beneficial than getting investment from external funding. Also, the great thing about bootstrapping is you can build an MVP. So you can build a minimum viable product. And you should have read the Lean Startup by now if you haven't read the Lean Startup. You can build a minimum viable product, release it, use the build, measure, learn feedback loop, and then refine it, improve it, and then relaunch it on a minimal budget. And you can do a lot more and release things quickly. And if you have an investor, it may be more by the books, it may be more follow this structure, this is what we've seen, this and that. Whereas you can use a lot more creative intuition and inspiration to get your idea and your business out there, relaunch it, bring it back to the drawing board, relaunch it, and get it kind of rolling a lot quicker with bootstrapping when you're 100% working with yourselves. And that's the way I would approach it, if you're bootstrapping as well. Either way can work, but I think overall bootstrapping is better. Honestly, I think most people that are looking to invest in technology startups are sharks. They don't really care about you. They care about the business. And you have to be happy within the business, otherwise it's not going to work. If you're not happy and you're making a shitload of money, it's not going to work eventually. You have to be happy within the business, and it has to be congruent with you, and you have to be aligned with that vision. Otherwise, it's just going to end up in a bad spot. There's plenty of companies that have boomed and then busted, and you have to make sure everything's aligned so that it can consistently grow, and the revenue is consistent year over year, and as the company grows, the whole culture and everything develops along with it, so that it continues to build upon itself, and it's not just a bubble-based, bursting type of business. Because that's something that I've seen very often in the tech startup space, even in like the network marketing industry, and and all sorts of tech startups, or really anything. So that's something to watch out for. Also, one thing that I've seen come to is if you can bootstrap your first startup or two and be extremely successful in it, investors will take notice of that, and now investors are approaching you, and they want to work with you, and they want to invest in your next vision or idea. Whereas if you take investor funding and investor money in the beginning, in your first startup or second startup, and you fail with that money, word can get out that you haven't done well, you screwed up in this way, I would invest in that person, and then you don't have any funding, and then you don't have any money, or at least in the tech experience money space where you really want it, like I said before, and that's not good, because when you get to bigger technology-based startup ideas, and you want to keep launching new tech startups, you're going to want funding, you're going to want rounds of funding eventually, so that's something to pay attention to. Like I said, if you lose money from investors within the first startup or two, it can kind of go downhill from there. And I think really, I'll leave the video with this. There's, like I've said, a lot of benefits. There's a lot of risks and rewards to getting investors from external funding or bootstrapping yourselves, depending on if you have a team or not. I would recommend bootstrapping for a few core reasons. First, you're going to be a stronger, more successful entrepreneur because it's going to force you to be more efficient, more effective, and find people to do what needs to be done on a minimal budget or for free by bringing on new partners. So it's going to force you to build a better team, a stronger team, a team that is committed and that works based on not how much they are paid, but how effective their work is, so that that can build into the company and the core roots of the company, so that it creates a sustainable, effective company that builds and that creates a sustainable long-term growth company. So forcing yourself to bootstrap in the beginning really creates a strong you, a strong team, strong leadership, strong vision, and it allows you to create a minimum viable product, revamp, relaunch, and create a lot of versions of your product or your service, and really test a lot very quickly, get a lot of feedback, get a lot of measurements, get a lot of numbers, crunch those numbers, get what you need, relaunch, and create something extremely successful, and continue to refine that until it's a big machine that's extremely successful. So I recommend bootstrapping. I'm bootstrapping for the most part right now. Like I said, I only have one technology-based product that's being invested in. That's a WordPress plugin, and it's not a huge project. So I recommend bootstrapping. There's a lot of benefits to it, and in the long run, I think it's going to be worth it because it allows you to move into the investment space much easier, and it just makes you a stronger entrepreneur overall. So that's it for this video. This is David King from davidbking.com. Hit like on the fan page below, like this video if you got something from it, subscribe, like, favorite, comment, and share, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.